Since the Pokemon TCG Live Beta became available worldwide earlier this week, by far the number one question I've received is, should I migrate my PTCGO collection? As soon as you boot up Live, you're presented with this screen asking if you want to do just that. Don't worry, you don't have to make a decision right away. You can choose to migrate later and your accounts will simply merge when you eventually make the decision. But is it actually worth migrating to Live right now? Or should you keep your account on PTCGO until the last possible second? I'll play devil's advocate and look at both answers to the question because there are pros and cons to each. I'll kick things off by looking at the reasons why you should migrate to Pokemon TCG Live. Put simply, TCG Live is the future. PTCGO will be shutting down when the full launch of Live happens, potentially around March 2023, but nothing's confirmed. The biggest change with TCG Live is the removal of trading and the addition of crafting. Because of crafting, it is far cheaper to acquire new cards from a brand new set on launch day. Whereas on PTCGO, a playset of the best new V and V-Star cards will cost upwards of 300 packs, on TCG Live, every V and V-Star costs the same number of credits, so a Lugia V-Star costs the same as a Typhlosion V-Star. I've talked endlessly about how great Celebrations is for farming credits, so I'll save my breath here. Basically though, if you use Celebrations and other small sets like Pokemon Go properly, you can boost your account and have hundreds of thousands of credits available to you right away. Since you need around 40,000 credits for the best cards in every new set, 200,000 credits should last you a full year. Obviously codes cost money, but overall it's cheaper to be a competitive TCG Live player than it is to be a competitive PTCGO player. Speaking of money, TCG Live gives you competitive decks for free. In addition to the original 8 free decks, the Silver Tempest Battle Pass gives you a free Lugia V-Star deck. And if you get the Battle Pass to level 8, which should take a week, you'll have a full playset of both Lugia V and V-Star for free. So a deck that will suck you dry on PTCGO is free on Live. I've spent this entire section talking about the financial aspect of Live because there aren't many other reasons why you should migrate right away. If you do decide to migrate though, make sure you have 4 copies of as many cards as possible in your PTCGO collection, because that is how you'll earn credits quickly in Live. When you open a 5th copy of a card you already own 4 copies of, it will automatically be converted into credits. You can see the extra card values on screen right now. If you want a good place to start, getting 4 copies of all 50 cards and Celebrations on PTCGO will put you in the best possible position after migrating. Additionally, try to have up to 125 unopened packs in PTCGO, because then you'll have 12,400 crystals waiting in your Live account. You can then spend those crystals on Celebrations packs or the Shadow Rider Lead Battle deck to further increase your credits. There are other minor reasons to migrate to Live as well. For instance, it does the math for you, and it's available on iPhone, though it will destroy your battery. But you can still play Live without migrating, it's just whether or not you want your account on Live to be beefed up right away. Okay, now let's talk about why you shouldn't migrate to Pokemon TCG Live. Let me be very clear, you should only migrate if you're 100% all in on TCG Live. Once it's done, you cannot go back to PTCGO. Trust me, I know from experience. I've been stuck in this hellhole for 10 months. If you've never watched a stream or a YouTube video about Live, I highly recommend you do that first before making any decisions. As I mentioned, the good news is that if you're only 69% sure about migrating to Live and don't actually want to do it, you can still reap certain benefits just from playing. If you select migrate later, you can still claim the free decks on Live. When you eventually do migrate from PTCGO, your 2 collections will merge like you've just used polymerization. This is great news because there's several reasons to stay on PTCGO. For starters, online tournaments and the team challenge. If you enjoy playing in online tournaments, you have to stay on PTCGO because they aren't really running in Live right now. I know Trust Your Feet has been successful so far, but everyone's still 99% focused on PTCGO. Same with the team challenge. The Pokemon Company didn't risk hosting the team challenge in Live, so PTCGO will stick around until at least March 2023, and they urge participants to not migrate their accounts. Additionally, there's no theme format in Live, Expanded is a neutered format not allowing cards from Black and White or X and Y, and because of that, you can't do GLC battles in Live either. Oh, and you can't challenge your friends to Expanded battles. So again, only migrate if you're 100% all in on a game with fewer features. Otherwise, stay on PTCGO where it's safe and warm and the avatars aren't trying to suck out your soul. I also have to speak about the development. It became apparent with the release of Pokemon Go this past summer that the developers can't handle an accelerated release schedule. Numerous cards from every set have been broken at launch. Using Silver Tempest as an example, they had to ban Forest Sealstone because you could use it infinitely. I understand there's a bajillion different interactions they have to code into the game with each new set, but it doesn't change the fact that the developers have yet to perfectly nail a new set launch. Obviously, PTCGO has had its fair share of issues, especially recently, but overall, Direwolf Digital has done a better job at updating PTCGO than the Pokemon Company has done at updating Pokemon TCG Live. And despite the fact that the beta went live all the way back in February, we still don't have any sort of roadmap. We don't know when any new features will be added or when the full launch is actually happening. Although communication has increased somewhat in recent weeks surrounding Live, it's still nowhere near the level it needs to be. There's other reasons to stay away from TCG Live as well, like the fact that you can only play vertically on mobile, even on iPad. There's a ton of issues from day one that still exist. A huge number of players can't access the Battle Pass on a daily basis. You have to restart your game every time you add someone to your friends list. There's still no way to tell who's going first in a battle, and I could go on and on. Basically, there's a million reasons not to migrate to Live and only a few reasons why you should. So if you want me to give a definitive answer to the question in the title, no, you should not migrate to Live yet. However, you should still absolutely download it and claim your free cards and decks. The Battle Pass rotates with each new main set, so you'll miss out on the current offerings if you wait until January 19th, which is when Crown Zenith comes out and new decks will be given away. And with Lugia V-Star wildly overpriced on PTCGO, it makes that much more sense to claim it now on Live. Otherwise, stay on PTCGO for as long as possible. 10 months into the live beta, we still have far too many issues and there's far too many basic features still missing. November 15th, the day Live expanded globally, was an absolute disaster. Unfortunately, that was expected and it wasn't a surprise. PTCGO is still the superior game overall, and being able to play both at the same time is a win-win for everybody. Because I have a starter guide with answers to all of the major questions about TCG Live, I kept this video short and sweet. If you have any questions about Live that I haven't answered yet, feel free to ask away in the comments.